Apparently, these NBA players do not love basketball. That sounds crazy, but let's hear them out.
50% of NBA players do not love playing basketball.
I 100% agree with that statement. Pay attention to it, you will understand why they don't play. They don't love the game.
There is approximately 450 players in the NBA currently. Putting that number into perspective shows how exclusive that 450 is. Numerous sources have stated that 400 million plus humans.
That's like a high school.
Sport of basketball.
Okay.
And the top 450 are playing in the National Basketball
Class of
Association.
2016.
That's absurd, right? So I'm to believe half of that 450 don't even love the game? They don't cherish the sport that undoubtedly changed their lives and propelled a lot of them to stardom. And this accusation isn't coming from some angry fan who's upset after a poor performance. It started with Patrick Beverley.
Sage, let me ask you this. Is Jokic one of these guys?
A lot of people are saying that, bro. I don't think that's the case. I think he's just a nonchalant dude. I don't think he doesn't have love for basketball. I just think he's not one of these people that value the same things that we valued in basketball. Like, Jokic isn't going to come out here screaming and crying anything is possible. He's not going to come out here and talk about, oh, I'm being compared with one of the greats, da-da-da-da. Jokic just wants to win basketball games. He just wants to get his team the championship. I don't think he's one of these guys that just wants to really have like a high payout. Therefore, having a good resume helps that payout. I don't think that's the case. I think he's just like, he just doesn't care about a lot of things that we care about, like an MVP. He didn't care.
Yeah, I'm not even trying to echo. I completely agree.
What percentage of NBA players do you think don't love basketball?
50.
Damn.
How can you tell when someone doesn't love basketball?
Damn.
Preparation. Most teammates I know who don't love basketball are the really good.
I thought he said
Do
reparations.
you love basketball?
I think if I had a stronger word, that'd be the word. Like I prioritize basketball at a point too much.
A veteran
You ain't gonna
guard
make
who's
it to
played on
NBA
plenty of teams
reparations.
for a decade span, and somebody who's gained a reputation for speaking his mind.
Oh my God.
To say the least. Disregarding whatever you may feel about him, this is a guy who started his career overseas in Greece and Russia. He could have called it quits at any point during that. Pat Bev truthfully doesn't have the talent a lot of guys in the NBA have, but he worked his ass off for everything he's achieved. That's the kind of individual who can spot a faker. So him saying 50% of pro ballers don't love the game is a statement I can believe. Not to mention the credibility of the guys who have confirmed his claim. DeMar DeRozan,
Yeah, I'm about to say
6-time
people
All-Star.
stamp that.
Paul George, 8-time All-Star. A no-brainer Hall of Famer. You want credible sources? These are sources you could use for a research paper. It doesn't get more truthful than the guys who've experienced every accomplishment in the sport. Gilbert Arenas chimed in, and that's a guy who went toe-to-toe with Kobe Bryant. And I mean, he went toe-to-toe with the Mamba. He gave that man 60. It's a pretty extraordinary feat to outscore the Kobe Bryant. But to outscore him, even though he finished the game with 45, is crazy. This guy definitely knows what he's talking about.
Do you agree with Pat Bev? Because he don't love this shit. He's just doing it because he wants to take care of his family.
Right.
He want to do it because, hey, they writing checks. They're
writing checks.
They're writing checks, so I might as well go ahead and get it. What frustrates a guy like Patrick Beverley, he has to work day in and day out for every dollar he gets. And you have a guy who just sits there, you know, just coming in, collecting the check. Or if
He's
you're in
just
the
too good.
workplace and you're like, man, if I knew the manager like he does and all these hours I put in, and he just comes in here and he gets all these promotions.
Arenas is
I think ultimately this is what happens in industries that just make a lot of money. And this is not just sports specifically. We can even talk about just YouTube. Not even just YouTube. It's NBA YouTube. You really think all of these NBA YouTubers you are watching are like really in love with the game? Sorry, there's a check involved. I'm gonna just keep it a beam with y'all. Y'all can think whatever you want about me. That's up to y'all opinion. But I'm just saying to ignore the bag portion of it. It's being a little disingenuous. I ain't gonna lie. We could even talk about, I don't know, software engineering. A lot of people in software engineering aren't doing that shit for the love of the game. It's because they know it's a guaranteed 6-figure check every single year. So
Yeah, 100% agree. And I'll even go as far as to this, and I'm not going to make this a full content creation chat or anything. But when it comes to the NBA, let alone content creation, I feel like the more freedom one has over their occupation, people just seem to have a tendency to disregard the obvious dollars that come with it. There's people that still attack Dame, still attack a bunch of these players that won't leave their franchise for the Supermax. And while we have even talked about it from a basketball perspective, me and Souls have 100% always said, in terms of life, get paid. I'm not stopping you. And obviously with content creation, as you just mentioned, there's gonna be people that are gonna judge you for what you just said just now, and it's kind of weird that, like, I don't know why, the more freedom you have over your job, the more people seem to disregard an obvious bag, or not even an obvious bag, just the fact that said person might want to make money doing said job. So I say that to say there's definitely people in the NBA that they just too good at the game, and they like, look, I don't give a fuck about these rings. I'm better than him. Like, I'm better than Pat Bev. He can scratch and crawl all he wants to. Drop 20. The fuck?
Example perfectly explains the situation. Just take away the basketball element for a second. Treat professional basketball like it's any other job. Nobody has a passion to be a fry cook, but if there's a super league for fry cooks and they were handing out seven-figure wages, you'd see a lot of folks dedicating their lives to the art of fry cooking. The only thing this example doesn't consider is the fact that NBA basketball isn't fry cooking. It's basketball, a sport countless will participate in at any level, disregarding any monetary gains, because it's fun, something you could genuinely consider a passion. It's not fry cooking. Not a soul is waking up on a Saturday afternoon jolting at the opportunity to rev up the fryer. Basketball isn't a job. Organized sports in general are more akin to the arts than an occupation, so this applies to any job, whether it's fast food, corporate, blue collar, none of those compare to playing a game. If you're watching this video, there's a strong chance you love that game, and we are mere spectators. How can half the dudes we're spectating not love the game? It really sounds absurd, but you look at the way some players act and go about their business, it's evident. I don't want to make this a boo, modern era is bad thing, but growing up in the social media age, these last 20 or so years have seen a surge in global superstars from the NBA, and that rise has meant mostly positives for the league. More ambassadors of the game means more opportunities to attract eyes to the game. The NBA has never been more international, and the virality and connectivity of social media is a large part of that. And when there's more people tuning into the games, live or in person, buying all the merchandise and reposting all the highlights, that wallet starts to get hefty. And after the owners pocket their share, they gotta pay those ambassadors who made their pockets hefty in the first place. And the thing is, those guys will get the bag. And when the rest of the league sees the paychecks Steph, LeBron, and KD are depositing, they're going to want a slice of the pie. And even after paying those superstars,
he got a Bruce Kick contract.
There's a whole lot of residual pie left over. Currently, there's 151 players in the NBA making $10 million or more annually, excluding some guys on their rookie contracts.
I'm doing that,
That's pretty much everybody you'll see really getting any minutes on the court. And rookie contracts are still lucrative, especially if you're taking in the lottery. Taking a guesstimate,
you got 1 in 3 odds,
85% of those 151 have 100,000 plus.
But honestly, though, I think it's fine to not love your job. I think we should normalize that more. Because I don't know if you have met these people in real life. There are certain people that make their job their personality.
Oh my lord.
Sage, you know what I'm talking about, bro. Motherfuckers that make their job a personality. And now it's like, yo, shit, like, yo, bro, can you just watch the movie? You know, like goddamn, like, can we just eat out at a restaurant and have a good time? Like, damn, I don't want to hear about what happened at your job. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Man, look, I got relatable, unrelatables, and everything in between. There's some people that do security. Their life is security. Like, it's never safe. You could go to a Weenie Hut Juniors, and they're just like, hey, bro, where you trying to go? What you mean? Where am I trying to go, nigga? Like, I'm buying my nephew a toy. Like, who cares? You could go to a food place, God forbid, I worked at Chick-fil-A, so this is just true. God forbid you take one of your coworkers or some shit. It's like, oh my God, they didn't even take my pleasure when they held the door. And it's just like constant shit. We know we know how content creators can be if they let that affect their real life. It's just, golly, man. Normalize people not having to love their job. That's why I disagree with people telling people, even in the NBA community, what kind of videos they need to be dropping, what topics they need to cover. Dog, if talking about Devin Vassell, whatever his name is, ain't gonna get me 100,000 views, but talking about Jokic again will? Why Nikola Jokic is unguardable part 8? Niggas is gonna do that, bro. We can go on forever about this.
Followers on the internet. That doesn't account for the ecstasy of playing in front of tens of thousands every other night, 5-star hotel accommodations before the games, the private flights, the personal trainers, the physical therapists, the nutritionists, the chefs, and all the other things that an NBA card can get you. Oh yeah, and millions of dollars. And first and foremost, good for all of them. They deserve every penny, every single penny. If the NBA is bringing in
I
all
do
this
agree.
revenue,
They deserve the
players,
bands.
the coaches, the front office, the commentators, the training staff, the medical staff, the arena workers, hell, the ball boys, anyone that had a part to play in the success and growth of the NBA deserves to be paid. If the boss is getting billions, why can't the guy who generated those billions get a percentage?
They never criticized the boss for not loving the game, though.
A couple $100 million, the sum is still justified.
They
unless
really
people
don't.
support billionaires keeping all the cash.
Oh my Lord.
With that said, the money, the fame, the cars, the admiration, and none of that has to do with basketball.
That's what we need. Talk about who do it for
Now
the fame.
you tell me if that life doesn't sound great, no matter what the hell you do.
Also, I think we also need to take into account a lot of these players have deadass been playing basketball all year round, 24/7, since like what, middle school, elementary school. Once you get to the pros, I ain't gonna lie, you are good enough to like low key not care about the game. You know what I'm saying? Like you have a certain level of expertise in playing the game of basketball to not care about it that much. Yeah, burnout exists in any job, and like he's saying, I think when we talk about NBA players not loving the game of basketball, we gotta look at it in that lens. It is ultimately, at the end of the day, it is a job. It suffers through the same pros and cons as every job out there. So
Couldn't have said it better.
If there was a super league for fry cooks and they were paying like that, I'd have been busting my ass at 13 trying to perfect the craft. So if it's something as enjoyable as the game you play recreationally, why wouldn't you train for it? Who cares if you really love it? Now, I'm not one to pocket watch because these guys aren't paying our bills regardless if they're making $1 million or minimum wage. But you know who is? The young guys that are gonna be in their position.
I thought an
soon
ad
enough.
was coming in. I ain't
They
gonna-
see
Hey,
a lifestyle
nah.
these pros
This video is sponsored by
want to follow in their footsteps.
Raid Shadow
Last team
Legends.
in recent years. Compare these guys to their predecessors. Man, these 19 to 20-year-olds are wearing designer suits and shoes, Cartier shades. They have iced
Did
out
the drip at the
watches,
draft got better or
Cubans,
worse?
shining
I don't
rings,
know.
and they haven't even won
I'm
a
saying,
chip yet.
low
They
key.
haven't even stepped on a court and they're moving like Prime Iverson. But that's the appeal now. Gone are the days of baggy suits and rookies struggling. Struggle left the picture in high school, especially now with NIL endorsements. Good for them. They earned it. Athletes deserve to profit off their likeness. But that stuff trickles into other aspects. Mentalities emerge that cause a shift in the culture. And the way the NBA pipeline is structured today, kids are at a disadvantage to the kids who have access to the resources and exposure.
That's why I always do want to give credit to like the blueprint makers in any industry. You know what I'm saying? Like in software engineering. Shout out to the Bill Gates of the world. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Steve Jobs of the world. Motherfuckers that did that shit for the love of the game before there was a big bag in it. In the NBA world, you know, that's why I always give credit to the Bill Russells of the world. I know some people, you know, it's the 60s. Fuck the 60s. You know,
Rolling Stone.
type shit. Like I want to give credit to the Bill Russells, the Wilt Chamberlains, the Jerry West of the world. Even in the YouTube space, the motherfuckers that was doing this shit before monetization was even a thing. You know, shout out to the dudes under Machinima. Y'all don't even know about Machinima, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't know for real. But shout out to those guys that did it for the love of the game. That set a blueprint for people to have the bags that they have. You know what I'm saying? Like, motherfuckers like Bruce and Aiden getting NBA contracts now?
Jordan Poole contracts.
Jordan, like, come
fuck,
on, bro. Like, this is crazy. And that shit wouldn't have been possible for the motherfuckers who truly just did this shit for the love of the game. You know, it turned out to be something else bigger than what they imagined, but they did this shit for the love of the game.
I mean, look at how many juniors are in the league. Every single player you hear about had a pops that played in the league, and that goes for any North American sport. And the reason is the same reason a mechanic's son has a better chance of owning an auto shop over Carmelo's son. If a kid isn't going to all these camps, playing for a pros AAU team, they won't gain the notoriety or guidance the ones fortunate do. So guess what transpires when you have a league with guys who come from that? You get opportunists over ambitionists. Is that a word? Back in the day, you wouldn't be at the college level if you didn't love the game. Prospects were the ones who played in the concrete on double rims with no nets every day until they got really good and had a growth spurt.
Double rims is
That
nasty.
was passion. David Thompson played on a rim that was made out of a bicycle wheel. Larry Bird played on a farm in the middle of nowhere, Indiana. Stojakovic escaped the war zone lobby to hoop. Man, Marcus Smart grew up in one of the most dangerous neighborhoods in all of
Big
Texas.
Smart, yeah.
Watched his older brother get hospitalized.
Oh, now it's Big Smart.
Lost his other brother when he was 9 years old.
Jesus.
Someone he saw as a father figure. And there's still more I haven't mentioned. All he had was basketball. That's somebody that loves the game. These are the ones who breathe basketball, and they would bleed for basketball. And that doesn't even take into account aliens like Steph, who was everything like I mentioned about some guys coming in who are opportunists. But if anyone states Stephen Curry doesn't love the game of basketball, they will never be taken seriously. So there's still hope.
I do feel like there are players in the league that you think do like basketball that don't, though. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, well.
They come into the game, celebrate. I love the game. I'm him. But in reality, it's like, yeah, I'm just clocking in, clocking out type shit, you know?
Maybe I'll be able to bag Riri with that one right there. Let me go ahead and slide in her shit now. Like, there's, I'm telling you, bruh. Women, weed, weather. Kendrick said these things, bro. Like, it matters to these dudes, man. We talked about the bag. We talked about the fame. We talked about the women. How about just being able to say, I ain't gonna lie, I'm living in L.A. for 82 games a year. Basically, like, 2/3 of the year. I'm in Los Angeles, just vibing. I'm in Atlanta, Magic City, vibing. Like, it's so many perks to this job. To argue that all the players that you know and love all love what they're doing, impossible. It's kind of like how people think every person that works at Chick-fil-A is nice. Them niggas is assholes. I'm one of them. I can tell you, them niggas is assholes, bro. You can't assume these things about occupations. At the end of the day, I know it seems so different, but they're all jobs, bro. They're all jobs.
Zion. Come on. Zion, do you really love the game or do you love these bitches? What's up with you, bruh?
That's why they drag you. That's why they dragging you for L Meat.
I'm not gonna lie, that hidden video that we've been teasing to our core fan base might have to drop, bruh. God. Motherfucker be lying to the women, man. God.
Chill, bro. Hey, man, if we ever need to have a deep cut emergency day, I'm fine with it. I ain't saying nothing crazy in the video. I ain't saying nothing crazy. It might age well for you now due to social media trends, but nothing on the court. It's all just...
He don't love the game, chat. He don't love the game.
Oh, Mike.
He love the bitches.
Who is the young nigga I know love the game right now?
Ant.
Damn. Yeah, Ant. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Ant.
You don't need to have the roughest childhood to appreciate basketball. It's a beautiful game. How can you not feel romantic about putting a round thing in a round thing? Well, some guys can just wake up and
Kyrie, I don't know if he love the game. I don't know.
In a round thing.
Kyrie love the game, but he has his morals that he value over that shit.
They don't have to give it their all.
I'll lock that
at
right
half
now.
speed is enough. They don't have to work as hard like the Patrick Beverleys of the world. They can wake up, come to practice 20 minutes before, get a couple shots up, and walk out the building as soon as that time limit hits. Meanwhile, a guy like Pat Bev was getting shots up 30 minutes before they arrived, and Pat will be getting them up an hour after they leave. And they can go out and give you a cool 20 points just off their talent. And that pisses off guys like Patrick Beverly. Pat has to work twice as hard for everything.
Man, get good, kid. I ain't gonna lie.
He has to work that hard because of his
I'm sorry not to be a
limitations, and he's
hypocrite.
still a pro despite that because of his
I
passion,
wish I was Mr. Beast.
because he loves the game.
Like,
That's the
like,
sad
shit.
nature of things. Half the league is Patrick Beverly's, the other half are not. Hey, I'm not one to accuse anyone in particular.
Okay.
I'll leave that to
That's
the
a
experts, the
that's a
guys
very
who
oh my
random
goodness.
dudes on Twitter. But
Just
there's
chose
a
that guy, huh?
the cream always rises to the top because
Devin.
eventually
The
those
hidden
talents
messages, chat.
subside against real skills. Hard work beats talent.
The hidden
and talent doesn't
messages.
Work hard. And if you
Jimmy,
ever find
well-
a talent who loves basketball,
You don't think Jimmy led a game?
watch out, because that's an unstoppable motherfucker.
Giannis definitely loved the game.
Giannis led a game. Giannis led a game. I say Jimmy led a game.
Jimmy, I don't know. Sometimes he just looks like a clock in, clock out type of dude, man.
You think he clocks in and clocks out with all that tough guy shit? Just like all the energy?
No, but I feel like there's certain quotes there's certain quotes that he said even just in these playoffs where he was just like, yeah, you know, it's just basketball. I'm gonna go back to my room, play some spades, and we gonna move on to the next game type shit. Like,
Gun to my head, I'm gonna say he does, but I hear you because I've thought about those quotes too. In the off season, he's very chill. He's even trolled with the long hair thing, so he has fun with it. So it's that I could see you debating that, but I'm gonna still say he does.
end of the day, I don't know, but
Yeah, you'll never know. You'll never know. It's kind of like, even for myself, when I just randomly pivoted one day, niggas wouldn't have known that I was just done with basketball content type shit. But like when I'm uploading them rants and shit, you think I'm the most diehard motherfucker alive. You'll really never know. And I guess that's the true moral of this story. But I guess what we're saying in the moral of our video is don't hate them if they don't, bro. Ain't gonna lie. Get over it.
listen, man, let me know in the comment section which NBA players you think love the game, which players don't. I'm dead ass interested to see who y'all got to say. I'm expecting some Ben Simmons in there type shit.
Yeah, I'm expecting James Harden. I'm expecting James. Joel? Question mark?
I don't know. But yeah, we'll catch you on the next one, man. Peace out.
Peace.